What's up, guys? Welcome to episode Damon number 80.
It is. It is
Number
80.
number 80 of the Always Race Day podcast. I want to remind you guys that we are presented by the fine folks at the Carlotto Group. Appreciate them and everything that they do with us. I'm taking off my glasses because it's a glare and we do video now and we got to pay attention to that. But, anyways, appreciate them. I don't have an ad read for them this week, so maybe. What are we doing? You want to improvise through it, or are we just gonna let it?
I got one. Their tires are better than what's being put on the NASCAR ones. So go buy a car from Carl Auto Group because their tires are already better than what we're seeing on NASCAR.
I think you
On to the
meant.
show, Connor.
Hold on. I think you meant that their cars that they make at the Carl Auto Group, or I guess distribute, they won't pop your tires because of the pressure that the load of the body is putting on them. That's the heart of this issue, David. I think that's why you need to go down to the Carl Auto Group and get a car from them.
Then we'll have differing opinions because
No, let's get into it.
the
We're in the show now. I'm Connor
sanctions behind.
Ferguson. Damon Helgevald is on the other side of the screen with me. Damon, tee off here.
On
Are you saying Goodyear is to blame for the tire failures today? We saw at
no,
Texas. It was 16. I think it's a record for that racetrack.
um, it was a record. I'm not solely putting the blame on Goodyear. However, at some point, somebody has to be held accountable within Goodyear. We've had tire debacles as to epic proportions. 2008 Indy comes to mind, and this was starting to creep into that level with the tires falling apart. Do I think that Goodyear is the sole responsibility for this? No. The I think majority responsibility is on NASCAR because they have built a race car where the loads are completely different than anywhere we've ever seen, and they have built these cars where the teams are still trying to race because that's still the sport. And when you're given a car instead of building your cars, you don't get the ability to manipulate near as much. And so what's happened is Goodyear went with what they learn at certain areas within NASCAR and then with their tire tests with the teams. Unfortunately, at the time, the loads aren't going to be the same as we're going to see on race day, and they certainly did not. 16 cautions later should prove that. I don't think that there was, but maybe one caution that was because somebody lost the car. I think Stenhouse's spin was solely because he lost the car. I don't think anything after that though was not related to a tire blowing. So pretty frustrating day if I'm NASCAR. I think they're the sole reason, sole responsibility for this problem. But at the end of the day, Goodyear also needs to they need to take a little bit of the blame to this and start looking at themselves instead of just solely blaming the teams.
It's really hard for me to pick any of that apart, quite honestly. I saw my general thinking, and I'll just say if you didn't see what we're talking about, the NASCAR race at Texas on Sunday, pretty disastrous for the standard of races that NASCAR puts on usually. And just what it was. I was about to say, I paused because I was going to say for the brand, I don't think that race will destroy NASCAR's brand. I don't think anything from today will vastly impact the way NASCAR is looked at in a positive or negative view. I think you can say it was a really terrible race, but the people that watched it are probably diehard NASCAR fans because it went 5.5 hours. So I don't know. I'm torn a little bit both ways in that. But what I'm saying is, I saw a bunch of people on social media like blaming Goodyear, and it's like, man, they're not putting tires out there that are supposed to pop. Like that's not. They're not trying to cut corners. I don't know what the I guess issues of lack of tire fall off we've seen. this season. I don't think we've seen a lot of races. Has there been races with really high tire degradation all
I
year?
think the only one maybe is Darlington, and that's because of the track.
Yeah. So from that point, and that part of it, yeah, like I would, give me a tire with degradation, please, 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 please. You need that. You need that with any competition tire you put out. But there's, yeah, a lot of talk about that. I don't believe they've signed their contract for next year with Goodyear, Damon.
Well,
I've been told
they
that
better
that's not
shop.
to worry. And if anyone else was coming in, we know how long that would take, right? We're still getting out of the dirt, the great tire shortage in dirt. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do from that juncture. I would assume they stick with Goodyear, but they're. I've said this before. I said this far earlier in the season. Do you remember like the eighth or ninth race of the year? And I was like, hey, if it's an easy fix, it'll be fixed next week. And if we keep saying more of it, it's not going to be an easy fix. Well, NASCAR has been looking at this problem all year. I guarantee they're studying ways to fix it. And now, in the back half of the season, the other problem that's arose is the safety of the cars. And they're both separate, so I'll try to keep them separate here. But I
But
think
they're not, though. They
okay,
go
hold on,
hand in
hold on.
hand.
What I'm saying here, I guess I not even the original point, but to differ from what you're saying, the tires blowing is causing cautions. Some of these wrecks are hard, yes, but it's like a spin that stops the race. So the issue there is the spin that stops the race. If there's no wreck, that's not part of the safety. And I think the safety is happening at different times, but that's not all brought out because of the tires. It's not that the tires go and then they hit the wall in an awkward way where the car isn't designed to absorb the damage. The car just doesn't absorb the damage very well at all.
No, I'm very, very clear with that.
Right. So it's a separate thing because I think they kind of arose and have peaked at different times. And today we probably saw the peak of both of them. But obviously not an easy fix. And you got to go for it. I don't want to step on what you're saying because you're making great points too.
I just
disagree with you.
I don't think that they're two separate things. I think the safety is more separate because of the other crashes that we have seen throughout the year, but this the tire blowing goes hand in hand with safety because we're lucky that Cody Ware isn't more hurt than he actually is. That was a vicious deal today. We're lucky that, other Alex Bowman came over his radio and said that was the hardest hit he's had in a long time, and they said that it didn't do anything to the car. So it's things like that that are frustrating when we're trying to put this more to away from the safety side of things, and this is another one of those checkpoints on the list of lack of safety in my opinion. And so the tires today represent just another one of the lack of focus as far as safety goes. And that's why I think a lot of it falls on the governing body.
Well, I think NASCAR has always cared really deeply about driver safety. I just think they missed a lot of aspects on this car for whatever reason or not. I don't know the inner workings of what they do and why this car has, turned into this gremlin in thick of issues that just.
But before you continue real quick, is it hasn't just started. It hasn't been within the last few weeks that has started. Ryan Newman said at last year when he was testing the car that it was poorly designed for safety. He has an engineering degree through Purdue. The guy knows what he's talking about, and NASCAR didn't take much into consideration at that time. And now we're starting to see it now instead of back then he saw it. He knew this was a poorly designed situation moving forward. And now we're starting to see the effects.
I think we're going to see kind of their response to it in the off season. I don't think we're going to see it before the end of the year. That was kind of my take when the crap kept happening, week after week. I will say this car has been, the drivers seem to be feeling it a lot harder. I haven't seen or can recall any broken bones this year, and I'm not saying that makes the cars better or makes the cars any safer than what you see. But from that aspect, I think that's a good thing. I don't know if that was the design goal, was to, keep them centered and keep everything on the driver's person, like in the same spot. But obviously they got to do something, because look at Kurt Busch is out of the car right now. It might have cost him his career, at this point.
It certainly has showed that up to this point. Something as I'm listening on the radio to this on the way home here today, and listening to PRN, and both PRM and MRN do a great job on the radio side of things with this. And
did they get fooled today by a name?
They did during the rain delay.
What was the name? What was the name?
It was Willie something. I don't remember the last name, but I didn't catch it at the time. And then they came back and started laughing about it. And so I was like, okay, so something happened with the name, and I don't remember.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it on the video because I was with all my family. And
it's Willie. It was Willie something, and it was pretty good. I did find the video. But they do a good job of explaining what's going on, and so I'm driving along during that rain delay after about whatever 10th caution, 9th caution, whatever it was during that time off. And NASCAR put a big emphasis on the durability of the chariot and not as much of an emphasis on the durability of the rider, in my opinion.
Yeah, so we'll see what I keep saying response, and I don't feel like that statement's inaccurate. Like, NASCAR this is a loud, obnoxious, big elephant in the middle of the room. I shouldn't even say obnoxious. I'm just trying to say, like, it is a glaring issue that all these tires keep blowing. It is a glaring issue that there's hard hits every week, and scary moments as far as things like that have gone at different points in the season. I think NASCAR knows that. Their goal is not to give you a crappy show and scrape by doing minimal effort. That's not what's going on here. It's not going to be an easy thing to fix. And I expect them to change this car for next season. I expect to hear different ways and different parts they're implementing to enhance driver safety and figure out what we're doing with the tires. Why are the tires falling apart every week? What do we need to do better in every which way? And today, like, Texas just maximized all those issues. Like, Talladega is going to kick ass. I know that. This will not be on Old Takes Exposed next week. The package runs great at super speedways. I can't wait to watch it. The Roval should be kick ass. It should be all right. The 1.5 mile tracks haven't sucked, minus Texas. And then we go to Martinsville after that. We'll see. But
I don't think this is a track thing. I don't think that Texas really was that bad when the racing was actually happening.
Yeah, but it blew 16.
Wasn't that bad.
That's what I'm saying. It blew 16 tires.
That's not the track. That wasn't the track.
You don't think Texas obliterated the tires on these cars more than other 1.5 mile tracks?
No, Atlanta blew tires all over the place.
Not 16.
Well, no, not 16.
That's what I'm saying. It was much worse today. They could go 30 laps and then they're done.
No, I'm going to disagree on that one. That's a pathetic take, man. It was not Texas. The racing itself, when the racing was going, the track was fine.
I didn't think the racing was all that great today.
Kyle Larson passed 285 cars today.
285?
Yes. Green flag.
That's wild, but I still think the leader was the guy out front, and then he'd blow his tire because he got out front too far.
Because
He's gone too fast.
these cars are so clean air dependent. If you have clean air, you're going to set sail. But if you're back mired in, the racing is good everywhere else. You look back at all the races throughout this year, and there has not been that many green flag passes at mile and a half as you think there are. And when you look back at it, the racing in the middle to the back of the pack, or even in the inside the top five, the racing is great. But there are still tires being blown. There was tires that got blown at Kansas. I was there, sat front and center, and watched it in both races this year.
Right.
There was tires being blown at Atlanta. There was tires being blown elsewhere at other tracks.
I know. We talked ad nauseum about this.
Right. So it's not just a Texas thing. It got magnified today because of the different ends of the racetrack. They're not the same banking on each end.
Okay,
and so the load. You just
said, okay, yeah, it is the load of the car. I understand that. I'm just saying it got magnified today because of the track they were at. The fault of it is the load of the car on the tires, the camber, all that stuff. That I completely agree there. I'm saying today magnified the two issues that we led the show off with.
It's because people don't want. I'm not a fan of Texas. I'm not trying to defend the Speedway itself, but when you actually watch the racing, huh?
I said you're a big Gossage guy.
When you watch the racing, I do like Eddie Gossage.
I know we've done that one. You're good.
But when you look at the actual product on the track, the product on the track was really good when there was time to actually do things.
Yeah, and I think we were deprived a little bit of that. Would you agree? Like if we had longer green flag runs, then maybe it wouldn't have been that bad.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I think you would have seen even better racing, and the gap from first to second would have been a little bit shorter. I don't guarantee that there would have been green flag passes because we haven't seen it yet this year. But
let me ask you this: what do you want them to do with Texas?
I think they need to take it down anyway.
Okay.
It's a lost cause because they keep trying to put the resin on it. Anybody that got a lane and a half higher than where they were today lost their car. I mean,
yeah, that's an annoying part of it. I agree.
We saw it in the last 15, 20 laps. Denny Hamlin lost 3 spots. Larson lost 3 spots. Keselowski lost 2. Byron lost 2 within the last 15 laps of that race because they slipped up and got a lane higher than what they had been running. And then
Gregson lost 16.
Yeah, Gregson nearly hit the wall. Todd Gilliland on the last restart, he slipped up, missed the corner. There's so many guys that missed the when they miss the corner. There's no miss room. There's no saving it.
Yeah, that makes it tough. It does, like, it livened up the IndyCar race there this year. That's like the weird part of that. I don't know if like repaving it or paving it.
They've tried the repave, and that's what happened, and that's why it turned the place into a giant disaster. Because you look back in the mid 2000s before the repave, the track actually produced really good racing. 2004, Elliott Sadler just passed Casey Kane at the finish line for the win at that place. So the track itself produced good racing until the repave. And then when they repaved it and went to a different style of car and different style of aerodynamics, it really changed the path that the track went on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so, like, I don't know what the answer is. It seems to be the public, I guess public eye is like the driver. Everybody's like honing down in eyeing Texas, and there seems to be pressure to change something. And with the guy whose goal is to put a roof over the racetrack at Bristol, having a big hand in what Texas does next, I can't say I'm not excited to figure out if there's any rumors about what might go on there.
I I hope that they don't do what they did to Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't want. We don't need another
I
mini super speedway because this one hasn't happened to work very well yet. Obviously, it's a unique track that drives to guys' strengths because of Corey LaJoie being faster. That's the stat I would point out. But there's not enough super speedway runs at Atlanta for me to get behind doing it anywhere else.
I just don't want us to have another racetrack on the schedule that can produce a lucky winner if you're in the right time at the right spot at the right time. I'm tired of
Well, rain can do that too. You got to remember that, but I agree. You don't want a real wild card.
right, but that's what I'm saying. You can't control Mother Nature's choices.
No, okay. I'll give you two choices, and you give me your 50-50 on it. Well, what do I pick here for Damon? Okay, all right. Do you want a roval or a dirt track? What if they did a rallycross style roval?
No,
put dirt in some of the sections.
No,
oh,
I
tried. I tried.
I would have given the quote unquote roval a better or a more realistic chance if they do that. But they have to give back the Charlotte roval and turn it back into the fall race needs to go back to an oval.
No, can't get behind it. Too much tradition in the Charlotte roval race.
Yep, a lot of tradition there.
There's too much. Yeah, it's like 6 years old.
Tradition in the roval. The waste of space.
If you know if you know our show and you know my takes, claiming a tradition on something as a reason not to change it is probably the most hypocritical I've ever been in my life. Oh man, I love the roval though. I'm excited for that. We'll get to that next week. Denny Hamlin and William Byron getting into it today. Everyone, dude, so many people were dogging Denny Hamlin again, and it's like he got wrecked under caution. What do you want him to do? The fact that NASCAR sent him back was so stupid. It was so blatantly obvious that William Byron ran into him, wrecked him, and then he goes on TV after the race, and the dude didn't even push him hard. It was the second question. He's just like, yeah, I guess I did it on purpose. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
So, first thing, going to your initial
thing. I just unraveled there. Didn't mean to do that.
Denny, when Denny wrecked off of Byron's bumper, he was not able to maintain pace car speed.
Don't give me the by the book reason that
I'm telling.
I understand what the call was. That's stupid as hell, though, because if I wrecked 17 people under caution and I just took the lead in the Daytona 500, like, are you just going to sit in the stands and be like, oh, well, that guy must have been very good?
17 people is a little bit different than one right behind the guy.
That's like the...
I know. Trust me. I understand the common sense ruling. Common sense says give Denny his spot back. Okay.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're dealing with NASCAR, who doesn't deal with a whole hell of a lot of common sense, as we found out.
That's what podcasts like ours are for, is to point out that was an error.
Oh, I completely agree that
it came off like you're defending NASCAR's call of it. I understand why. I understand what the ruling was, in that William Byron did not say anything on the radio to admit that it was his fault. But that should still be looked at as, okay, well, I watched William Byron under yellow run into the back of Denny Hamlin, and I'm still making Hamlin go to the back. Like, I think
I've been pretty critical of NASCAR's rulings here recently. So, by the book, they did the right thing by the book. Common sense wise, it was completely wrong, and William Byron should have been the one that got sent to the back.
Yeah, but I don't like the by the book like, yeah, you made a right call in any way there. I thought that was completely the wrong call.
Like I said,
I
by the
think
book.
Damon's trying to use crafty words to get under my skin, and I'm not going to let it happen.
By the book. It's the way it is. It's I don't know. We've seen too many judgment calls from NASCAR's committee this year that at this point no one knows what the hell's going on.
I don't think it's even been that crazy. All right, David
Connor,
Hayes, our friend David Hayes,
the,
the new ticket manager in Knoxville. He said listening to you guys is like listening to an old married couple that has grown to hate each other.
well, I'm not going to be the one to comment on that.
Oh, we're clipping this one for sure. God damn.
What did Kyle Busch say? Next question.
He said 2023, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Kyle Busch was the first one out. Chase Elliott also out of the race, I believe. I didn't see the end of the race playoffs because I drove right over here to film this, and I need to do better at that. So that's on me, guys. I think he's 4 points in right now over the bubble. It's close nonetheless. We'll have that up on Always Race Day. I did want to talk to you about, do you have anything else from what we saw tonight?
Well, they haven't updated the playoff points as of right now, so you wouldn't have been able to find it unless you found it through Bob, but
Yeah,
they haven't updated it online yet. Anyway, what else I saw tonight? The fact that the 8 car is still going to compete for wins with Reddick in it and whatever the situation may be. So pretty cool to see. And I think Richard Childress may be the smartest human being alive right now because he's replacing a generational talent with another generational talent that's already proven in that car next year.
Well, he kind of got the last laugh with
3 wins.
He kind of got the last laugh with taking Kyle Busch from Joe Gibbs after Hamlin grabbed Reddick from him.
Right.
I do have the playoff standings from Matt Weaver. He usually just takes a picture of his TV and posts it. Awesome dude. You should follow him. He's very good at his job. So Chase Elliott's 4 points in, as is Daniel Suarez. Denny Hamlin is 8 points in. Ryan Blaney is 15 in. Kyle Larson is 16. William Byron plus 17. Chastain plus 18. Joey Logano plus 30 as the leader right now in the clubhouse, I guess, if you want to call it that. Briscoe is 4 points out. Austin Cindric, 11. Christopher Bell, 29 points out. And Alex Bowman, 30.
Yeah, tough playoff standings. Today was an interesting day for that, especially with Bell being the most consistent in the first round, and now he's the second man to the bottom here in this one. Interesting playoff standings.
Yeah.
I do want to make mention real quick too. Dustin Long posted a video with Goodyear's Greg Stucker. They interviewed him, and I did listen to the interview. The guy kind of rambled about some random stuff. Not gonna lie to you, and had a lot of different things to say in there. You'll have to go listen to it from Dustin Long. But then Denny comments on it. Denny Hamlin comments on this. And basically he comes on here and says, no excuses except for the 10 you listed beside yourself. So Denny is not just a driver that we think. The guy's still an owner of a race team. And so when you've got that voice saying it's time for somebody to step up and take a little bit of blame instead of putting it towards the team, somebody has to say something here and take a little bit of the responsibilities here instead of just solely putting it on the teams, because that's what NASCAR and Goodyear have done throughout this season when we've had tire problems. The first thing that they said is the teams are running too low air pressure. The teams are running wrong cambers. Teams are running wrong shocks. But at some point, they also have to take a little bit of responsibility themselves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And my thing with everyone putting, I guess, throwing turds at Denny Hamlin, to put it in the nicest way possible. He's a NASCAR team owner. Yeah, like so. Excuse me if you don't agree with this, but his opinion is much more important than most of the other drivers, if not all of them in the field. That being said, I think NASCAR has no reason on the track to treat him any differently at all. But I think he was shafted in that call today. I would have gone after that call on post race. I would have asked Denny about that call. I was shocked that the TV reporter did not ask him anything along those lines. It was all about what Byron said and stuff. I don't know if they were like motioning her to, no more questions, or if that was the vibe she felt. Oh well. Yeah, I would have definitely asked. That seems to be the thing that like changed the result of the race the most.
As a football reporter, that you can only ask so many officiating questions, and that you're just gonna get roundabout answers. And so
I think 90% of the time you're gonna get a just gloss over answer that doesn't really answer the question, but you have to ask that because the 10% of the time that you don't, you're gonna get the best quote you've gotten all season. That's why you have to ask. Like Matt Campbell knew on Saturday he was going to get asked about the officiating calls at Baylor. It was the first question. Randy asked it. Like he knew that was coming, and he answered it how he was going to answer it. So, I think the guys know that it's going to come. I think someone else asked him about it, I'm sure. And I haven't seen any videos like that yet, at least glaring on Twitter for the 2 seconds I was on it right there. But we'll see what that whole skirmish brings. I think it's fine to disagree with Denny's opinions. I think not recognizing that he's a big owner in this sport is a different deal, I guess. And I'm trying to connect this and, transcend to my other take that I'm super excited for Talladega next week. It's probably one of my 4 favorite tracks on the schedule. Oh, you're good. Go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's probably my favorite. But it's definitely 1A. But like that, 1B is Bristol Dirt, 1C is the Charlotte Roval, and 1D, not One Direction, but just the other one is the Chicago Street Course. Those are my 4 favorites.
I like I do like Talladega. It's a good track.
He's holding it has a big rant about why that was the dumbest list I've ever given on this show.
No, because you've given some pretty dumb lists on this show.
You're right. The Mount Rushmore where you got like 3 second-time champions. That
I was just about to say. you had a list of Mount Rushmore that was completely irrelevant to any sort of conversation whatsoever about.
No, but I could defend my picks with my heart, and that's where you were soured if we were ever in a court of law.
Well, your heart and by the book ain't gonna do anything.
I've got plenty of mental gymnastics to tell you that Jim Kohler is a better driver than Kyle Larson.
Well, that's a false statement, right?
Let's look at who wins more.
Obviously, Kyle Larson.
Well, Jim's running like 3 races in a weekend, man. I guess Kyle's more.
Yeah. I do like Talladega. I do miss the days of the how to put this, the chess matches on the track, basically, where it was guys finding their way, using a side draft to get up through the field, using other runs and other momentums. And now it's either a strategy play with all the other manufacturers that are on your side, or B, it tends to be a parade for about 80% of the race until all hell decides to break loose within the last 30 laps. And so um, it it's a good race. It's always exciting. People always tune in to watch it because you should. It's Talladega. You never know what's going to happen there, but um, you know, I think it's in a good spot in the playoff too. I didn't like it when it was a cutoff race. I like it being a second round race too. So always a good time to go to Talladega. It's always fun, um, and should be interesting.
Yeah, it's my favorite track, bar none. I know a lot of people are going to be worried about the safety. I think that kind of just comes up when you go to Talladega or Daytona. I think the track itself, facility wise, I'm not saying Texas isn't. This isn't a thing against any other track. I think both Daytona and Talladega have done a lot of work in having, the safest barriers and safer barriers, right? The name of the company that did them, I guess, or is that the name of just the
It's
product?
the name of the product. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an acronym for
acronym.
the product.
Do you know what it stands for, Damon?
Mm, I
Fake fan.
I did at one point.
That's better than me because I don't know what it stands for. I just know that it spells safer. But I think they have it as safe as it can be. I hope no one gets hurt. I don't anticipate anybody getting hurt next week. I think it's dumb to go to a race and say like, oh, I think someone's gonna get injured today. Like that's a really weird viewpoint to have. But it seems like the negative Nellies want to do that going into Talladega and Daytona sometimes. I'm in for it. Y'all should watch it. I'll be telling you to watch it. If you notice, usually at midpoint of the race or before it, or when it's getting down to the end, I'll tell people to turn it on and I'll tell them the channel. I didn't today. It just wasn't great. It was not a good showing for NASCAR or anything like that. And I'll hammer them when I need to. It was probably the worst race of the year today. I think considering everything, nothing else sticks out to me that was worse than what we saw today. But that's also, there has to be a worst race of the season. You just hope that it ends up being a good one. It means your season kind of kicked ass, right? So we'll see. This year's been way better than the 550 package debacle and years before that. But we'll see what Talladega gives us. I'm in for it. I can't wait. And you want to talk dirt a little bit, Damon?
Yeah, we can go for a little bit.
Oh, also, it's I'm excited for Wednesday because I'll get to celebrate my boy Antron's win and Ron Caps's W at the Betway Carolina Nationals. I think I got that right.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Yeah, it was a good day for you if you're a fan of Antron and Ron Caps.
It was the best day.
I gotta give a shout out to my good friend Clay. He made it to semifinals in Top Fuel and out and lost to Antron in the semis. So it was a good day, a lot of fun to watch, and I'm excited to see it up close and personal next weekend in St. Louis.
Oh, you're going there?
Yeah, I'll go on Sunday.
Awesome. Can't wait to see your tweets about that. Send some
It'll be
stuff from the
fun.
ARD account or text me.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's always it's a good racetrack. It's a good race, and the facility is awesome. And they always last year was a fun show to go to. Now I'll get to go again on Sunday.
That's awesome. I'm excited for the Xfinity race at Dega just because Noah Gragson has 4 Xfinity wins in a row.
Yeah,
Pretty
it'll be.
impressive ride.
He's going to break Sam Ard's record. That he's tied Sam Ard with the most wins in a row, and so now he's going to go break the record. And what a better place to go to than Talladega, where Junior Motorsports generally brings really fast cars.
You think he's got a chance to do it?
I do. Yeah.
I shouldn't have asked it like that. Of course, he has a chance. He's going to have to get past my pick to win the race, though.
Landon Castle.
It is Landon Castle. We're doing it. It's working this time. This time, man. We're so.
Hunter, I hate to break the news to you.
Do not say what you're about to say.
I think you were the one this week that I first saw on Twitter posting about how it was Iowa State's 11 in a row.
Oh my God, dude! No, hold on.
Let me finish. And that didn't transpire. And then you jinxed something else along the way this weekend.
It's a stat.
And yeah, I know, but you're the one that brought it up first. Should have let somebody else bring it up.
Was it the white Cardinal white uniforms being undefeated at Jackson Stadium?
That was it. That was the other one.
It's a stat. The stat changes when something else comes into the key.
I get it.
It's a trend. It's like this is going well. So here's a stat.
But let somebody else do it.
Since Landon Castle has gotten into a colleague race car, he has not won a NASCAR Xfinity race. I think that's highway robbery. He's incredibly due for one. And I would be shocked if he didn't go to victory lane this weekend.
Well, I feel bad for all the other Landon Castle fans out there because Landon will not make it to victory lane now because Connor just picked him.
Oh, my God. Don't put that on me.
It's the truth.
I'm not going to pick the 39 other guys to win. Actually, that'd be really funny if I did that.
You have a chance to. I don't know why you wouldn't.
I'm going to put $1 on these 39 guys and pay $39 to watch Landon Castle go victory lane.
You take the field. So Landon Castle can go to victory lane. But you've already set yourself up for failure. Jinxing it is what you do best, and certainly feel bad for Landon this weekend.
God, this is like my least favorite Damon episode of all time.
I don't know why it is. I can't imagine.
We're both really tired. I think that's part of it.
I don't.
No, we are podcasting tonight, and I'll say the rest of my words later.
Yeah, I said them. I said them all later.
Yeah, man. All right.
I said them all later.
Tyler Courtney takes home the All-Star Circuit of Champions win at the Four Crown Nationals. Buddy Kofoid was injured in a wreck. I haven't seen an official update or anything from that. Over in late models, Tim McCready took home the Jackson 100. I'm sorry. I almost got Hillbilly 100. I think that's this week, but he took home the Jackson 100, extends his points lead over Brandon Shepard late in the season, so that was huge for him. Iowa native Ryan Gustin picks up the win for the World of Outlaws late models, and Brad Sweet won at Sharon, extending his points lead. So we're really getting down to the end of this. I don't really see a points race that's going to come down to the wire. Do you?
I guess if there is one that I would say it's more intriguing than the other is the Lucas Oil late model one. I know Timmy Mack extended it, but can you ever count out Brandon Shepard until it's all said and done?
Yeah, I don't think so. So we'll see what transpires with that. I think they only got like 7, 8 events left.
Yeah. Not many chances left, but it's still Brandon Shepard. It's
not the same. It's not the same 100 points that the Outlaws points show. It's not 2 points. It's 5, I think. So
right. So, it's still Brandon Shepard. He's still driving the one. And until the end of this season, he's got a chance to do that. But I think that's probably the most intriguing one. I've really lost intrigue on the Outlaw late model side because the big names that have kind of fallen off the tour, and so it's not the same. I do want to see is Herb still leading that? I haven't even looked here lately.
Yeah, and I can get you an official number. I think he's leading by something around 100.
Okay, so would be pretty cool for Dennis Herb to do that. I do like Dennis Herb and think what he's able to do. So pretty cool if he's able to pull it off.
98 points, and Tanner English is still slated to win Rookie of the Year. Did you see that he's parting ways with that 81E team?
I did. I was going to ask you about that,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything on that situation. I haven't poked around too much, but it's what more do you need your driver to do? He's going to win Rookie of the Year for you. You almost won the points title. You have 2 wins this year. Like what? It's his first year driving on this
It could
national tour.
be
Like, what do you need from him?
it could be a thing too where English has a better opportunity than the 81E car
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's it.
And they're telling him to go, it's like what RC did with Dale Sr. back in the day when Dale was up and coming. He was a talented driver. He told him to go somewhere else, and Dale went somewhere else and won a title and came back. So I think that has something to, I don't know if it's them pushing him out for results reasons or if they're pushing him out to go and he's got better opportunities. I don't know.
Absolutely. All right. You got anything else before we go? Is that an Iowa Hawkeye glass or is that a Missouri Tiger
No,
throwback?
no, it is a Missouri. It's a Missouri Tiger.
Oh,
It's
CJ's. That's what I
CJ's
thought the Hawkeye
Wings
was.
down in Columbia. No, no. CJ's Wings downtown Columbia, great place.
I like it. How's Missouri doing football this week?
Not good, not good at all.
I didn't know this coming in. I'm sorry, I forgot about this part.
No, not good. They apparently had a collapse of the afternoon. I found out. So
Who'd they lose to?
it's a day. They lost to Auburn on the road.
Oh God! How did I forget about this game? Oh my God!
So Mevis's brother missed a chip shot to
You're
give
not
him a
shitting
win
me right now?
No. Mevis's brother missed a chip shot to give him the win in regulation. Then in overtime, something else happened. Hang on, I got the whole rundown for you. Give me like 10 seconds.
Because they missed the chip shot to win the game, and then he was diving across the end zone and lost the ball.
Yes, so Mevis missed a 25-yard field goal as time expired. Then in overtime, they came an inch away from an INT. Then when Auburn was lining up for a field goal, there was an offside call. The field goal was missed on the offside call. That allowed a second attempt to go into overtime. The second attempt was good. Then a game-winning touchdown as they fumbled across the goal line and right into the Auburn defender's arms in the end zone to end the ball game.
If you don't know who
epic pro.
If you don't know who Mevis is, it's former Iowa State kicker Andrew Mevis, who was cut by the Jacksonville Jaguars for quote missing a kick so bad that it hit a 70-year-old former or current coach for the Colts, I believe.
Yes,
maybe 56 years old,
something like that.
I don't think that could have been the field goal yardage, but I'm remembering the story. I'm sorry I forgot about that game because I was paying attention to that.
Yeah, so that was from a buddy of mine that lives down here that is a big Mizzou fan. After I told him how the Iowa State game went, he proceeded to give me that entire rundown and said it was a disastrous day to be a Tiger. And so instead, now they come off of that and host number one team in the country next weekend.
They're playing Kansas next week?
Georgia rolls into town. No.
Okay.
Wrong. Yeah, Georgia rolls into town next weekend.
That's no, I'm excited for next week and should be a fun day. We'll be in Lawrence for the game. I wish I could just be in Talladega and go to that race. Not that Lawrence is going to suck or anything, but you hope it doesn't suck, right?
Well, it's still Lawrence. It's still Lawrence, so let's not forget about this. Just because Kansas all of a sudden decided to start winning a few football games doesn't make Lawrence a destination.
Yeah, I don't think they've been tested. I don't think Houston is that good this year. But Iowa State fans panic a little.
West Virginia's not good.
When there's a small hiccup in the roller coaster, they act like the wheels have fallen off. I think this Iowa State team has shown you that the wheels don't fall off. They respond to adversity pretty well. I thought they did Saturday at least.
Yeah. I just think that was a testament to how good Baylor is.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We could get in more of it. We're not paid to talk about that, though. Well, maybe.
I was going to say you are.
Yeah,
Half of
I
this
was going to
show
say
is.
maybe I should be. I don't know.
Half
No,
of this show is it's paid to do that.
someday we're going to have a big headquartered building, and it's going to kick so much. It's going to kick so much ass. I can't wait. Thank you guys for listening. You make it possible. Please tell your friends. Get us more people so we can do more things. And I promise that.
So Connor can not go to Lawrence and he can go to Talladega instead.
Yes, just in that situation again, please. It's not, I don't want to come off like I'm saying that like I'm going to a Big 12 college football game for the team I grew up watching. Like it doesn't suck at all. Like I'm living out my dream. But my favorite track on the NASCAR schedule is Talladega. And I like dream of covering a race.
You're only gonna be 2 hours closer.
Right. Right. You're making
Games on Saturday.
Advantageous that I'm going to Lawrence, and that would make it a better situation to go to Talladega. I'll market that one to my dad. We'll see if we can get a last minute deal here.
I'll just market it to Stansbury and just take Jared with you, and there you go.
I'm sure he would love to go down to Talladega. He would have fun if he got there, but you'd have to get him there. Kidnap him against his will.
Drive your car. Then you're the one that's going. Be like, oh, took the wrong turn on the turnpike.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Thank you all. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let us know who's right in the Twitter comments. Twitter fans seem to love Damon. It's ridiculous. I think I give a lot of points. I just lose my train of thought in the middle of them. And then I forget to go back and say, like, finish the slam dunk and be like, see, Damon, you're wrong. And he doesn't accept that he's wrong. So it's harder to do.
Because I'm not wrong. It's been proven multiple times through our listeners.
All right. We'll be back midweek, guys, and we'll try to get a guest for you. We haven't had one in a couple episodes, so we'll try to get a guest back on here. Don't look at me. We had one last Wednesday. Yeah, we did. You're right. We did have Kurt. I'm sorry. No shade.
I was like, wait a second.
So I'm telling you, I'm forgetting stuff. Also, Tuesday night, once I get back from Ames, I've got a doctor's appointment to go to. Middle of the day. I'm going to just grind all night. I'm going to stay up until 4:00 playing the World of Outlaws game.
How about that?
I'm going to exhaust my talents and tell you what I think of it. I'm also going to become the best in the world, at least for one day.
Well, you have fun with that.
I will have the most playing experience of anyone in the world at midnight on Tuesday.
I highly doubt that.
Well, if anyone wants to play with me, shoot me a message on Twitter. I will throw you the, I think gamer tag is what it's called. I'm old, but also inexperienced and young, so I don't know. But I can't wait for it. I'm just going to sit here and play it and have fun. Watch the High Limit Series race and, just enjoy the night.
Sounds like a plan.
Cool. All right. We'll be back midweek. I'll tell you guys what I think of the game. Maybe I'll do a Twitter space or something after that race ends. Damon, you can hop on that if we did one.
Yeah, I might do that.
Also, send me your thing and I'll friend you on here.
Okay. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. Well, Damon forgets.
No, I got to remember my gamer tag.
Oh, yeah. Well, anytime you look it up, just let me know. All right. Thank you. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. And we will see you Thursday morning, I think. Yeah, that should be good. Thursday morning. Okay. Thanks, guys.